Hello, everyone. We are live. Can you imagine an actual live live show? My name is Stacey Nell. I'm the Executive Director of the Kansas African American Affairs Commission. And thanks so much for joining us today for a rare live lunch and learn. Today, I am thrilled to be joined by Mike Murphy. He is the VP of Customer Marketing with Merit Organization. He's here to talk to us about the, Kansas Educational. Oh no, I had it all in my head.
You had it.
Right out. Kansas Educational, something opportunity. Kansas Educational Enrichment Program. It's the Kansas Educational Enrichment Program. Hi, Mike.
Hi, thank you for having me. Really appreciate the invitation today.
Yes, definitely. So now I ask all of my people who come on this show, what are you having for lunch?
Well, I am based in California, and so it's still coffee hour for me, actually. But I did have a bagel with some nice lox and cream cheese and the whole spread for breakfast. Haven't
That
decided
sounds
on
good.
no. I don't know what I'm doing for lunch in a couple hours here.
Yeah, I just, my lunches are very non-exciting these days. I'm on this healthy eating meal plan thing.
Are you eating at your desk, or are you at least getting up?
I mean, I ate at my desk because I was trying to get all the last minute stuff for this.
Okay. It's my fault.
It's no, it's not your fault. I made this choice.
All right.
So there we go. I'm here. Okay, but Mike is here to talk to us about the Kansas Educational Enrichment Program. Are we ready? Are we ready to share, or just give us a very brief background of what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Kansas Education Enrichment Program is I'll jump right in, actually. It is a $50 million federally funded program. And you're kind of seeing behind the curtain a little bit here. I'm going to be hopping around between tabs, so you can just go ahead and see the whole slide deck. There's nothing confidential here. Anyway, this is a $50 million federally funded program that Governor Kelly has put through the Office of Recovery to go towards educational enrichment. Essentially, we call it KEEP, Kansas Education Enrichment Program. It's a lot easier to say KEEP than the mouthful that we were trying to get through earlier. But this is a program. It is putting $1,000 grants awards directly into the hands of Kansas students. And so it's a great program. If you do the quick math on that, $50 million, $1,000 awards, 50,000 awards that will be going out. This is everything I'm going to talk about, everything I'm going to show you is all accessible through keep.kas.gov. That's all you need to. If you take one thing away from this presentation, keep.kas.gov, and I'll show you what that looks like in a moment here. My company, Merit, our company, we are a private sector company. We work with the Governor's Office of Recovery to help administer this program. And they're a great group of folks, but they are not set up to run a marketing campaign, take all the customer support calls. They are not, completely set up to verify eligibility and residency and all those things. So that's where our company steps in, and we're working very closely with them. So I'm representing Merit. I love doing activities like these and talking to the folks out across the state who are going to help us get the word out. Something I like to say is, our company is sort of an arm of the Office of Recovery, helping to spread the word about the program. And welcome to the family. I consider all of you an arm of my team as well. So thank you for having me again, and thank you for the support. Broadly speaking, these awards are for, it says it right on the box, education enrichment. So that last bullet there, camps, tutoring, classes. There are some school supplies. There's some approved technology items. Again, anything that is sort of academic and educational in nature is approved for this. This is a free program. There is no cost to apply. There is no cost to participate. It is not taxable. So this is literally just, $1,000 into the pockets of students, and families with multiple students can apply for one award per student. So, if you're a family of 5, you have 3 kids, you can apply for $3,000 worth of awards here. So
wow,
it goes a really long way. Yeah, we're really happy to be supporting this program. It's really great. I'll cover it all in detail, but there's an online marketplace we've built that we filled with pre-verified vendors, service providers, tutoring companies, musical instrument lessons, language classes, things like that. We've gone out and we've found several hundred of these providers who are approved. We've seen their business licenses. We've seen their tutoring credentials. We can assure you that when you spend your money with, these providers, that frankly, you're not going to be left holding the bag. The Kansas authorities will reimburse for this. And there's an app that I'll show you. It's super easy to use. You can submit all the claims for reimbursement. I will just hop right into eligibility. So this is, broadly speaking, it's K through 12. There are some exceptions. You have some 19-year-olds who might still be in school. You might have some younger kids who are in kindergarten, but it's essentially for school age children. Any school, private school, public school, home school, we'll verify those things. Because this is a limited award, I said it's $50 million, which sounds like a lot of money, and it is. I'm not shaking a stick at it, but there is only room for about 50,000 of these awards across the state, and so we are first on those with the lower income. So we're looking at about 300% family with a household income of 300% or less of the federal poverty guideline.
Okay, and so that means what for a family?
That means that the federal poverty guideline for a family of 4. The poverty level is $30,000 a year in income. So 300% of that is what we're looking at. So times 3, essentially $90,000 a year. So for right now, a family of 4 with a household income of $90,000 a year or less would be eligible for this program. There's a chart I'll show you. It goes up from there. So I'm a family of 5. I think my number would be closer to like 105 or something like that. But there's a full chart, and you see it before you apply even. The 2 exceptions to that income thing are foster children. The state has decided that foster children are automatically eligible for this program, regardless of the income of their placement family. So foster children can automatically get this award. And then secondly, the SNAP eligibility is something we're really, really happy about and really excited to share, because these are people who have already proven to the state that they are at a certain income level that qualify them for SNAP. They've already proven their residency, their identity, their income. They've already submitted all these documents. We're not going to make them do that again. If you can just prove to us that you're in SNAP, that's good enough for us. We'll go ahead and get you your award. So it's a little bit of a fast track application, I like to call it, to kind of not have you jump through those hoops again.
Cool.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the application guidelines, what's required, and then I'll actually hop in and show you all what it looks like at a very high level. So there's a lot on here. This isn't all required. So it's just one of the things on the left-hand side. So just something to prove your residency. It can be a driver's license. It can be voter ID, a utility bill, just something to prove that you are, in fact, a resident of the state of Kansas.
In Kansas. Gotcha.
Right. We've had a few folks from, Kansas City, Missouri try and apply, and we've had to say, hey, that's splitting hairs here. On the right-hand side is
no, that's not splitting hairs. Missouri is Missouri. That's
true. All right. I'm sorry. As a Californian, I should know not to touch that one. Yeah.
There's like a border issue over here. So
absolutely. On the right-hand side are some of the I'm not going to say trickier, but some of the things you may not have at the ready, like a driver's license. So broadly speaking, we are verifying 3 things. We are verifying your residency, which is that left-hand column. We're verifying your identity, which is some combination of a taxpayer number, social security, ID, and then we're verifying your income. And so the way we're doing that is through the first 2 pages of your tax return. It can be for either of the last 2 years. So I'm trying to do my math. This is 2023. So the previous 2 years of tax returns would be 22 and 21. So either a 2022 or 2021 tax return, just the first 2 pages, because that shows your annual household income as well as your dependent will be listed there as well. And then, of course, like I said, there's the exceptions. If you have foster children or if you're in SNAP, then the award letter or the placement agreement for either of those. I do want to double back on that tax form. If you are a non-citizen taxpayer, meaning you do not have a social security number, but you have filed taxes, there is, I believe it is, I'm going to mess it up. It's either ITN or ITIN. It's an individual taxpayer identification number, I want to say. So I guess ITIN.
Okay.
It's essentially the equivalent of a social security. So we'll take the last 4 of that. So on the application, it does ask for the last 4 of your social. But again, if you are a non-citizen taxpayer, you have a tax ID number. And that's
okay. That's an important distinction, because we do have in Kansas, we do have a large number of people who are here working out in Western Kansas. So again, just right. I think it bears repeating. You can say it one more time. I know you've said it twice, but just to clarify.
No, absolutely.
So non-citizen taxpayers, if they have that identification number, can be used to apply for this grant.
That's right. We do require a tax return. So if you are not paying taxes, we don't have a way of verifying your income. So we don't have a way of checking your eligibility for the program. But whether you are a citizen or a resident, if you are paying taxes, you have a tax identification number, whether it's that ITIN or whether it is your social security number.
Fantastic. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. So I said it earlier. If you take one thing away from this presentation, keep.kas.gov. That is your.
I have put that in the chat. I put it in the chat.
That's right. That is the single destination for everything. Everything I'm talking about, everything I'm showing you is actually in much more detail through that website. But at a very high level, there's FAQs, there's a help center, the actual application is there, our marketplace that I talked about, and then the app. I differentiate the app versus the application. The application being to get into the program, the app being the smartphone app or the web app to file the claim. So I am actually going to jump right into the website and kind of do this live. So hope I don't butcher this. The first thing you'll see, we just put this up last week. So on Friday, Governor Kelly put out a press release here basically announcing that our program is almost full. We're still accepting applications. We have not allocated all of the funds, but we are getting to that point where we thought it was worth reminding folks across the state that if you think you're eligible for this program, please apply now because it's first come, first serve, basically. And we're kind of getting to that ending point. And so the first thing you'll see on the website is this important notice, essentially saying in much fancier language than I just used that we are almost full and to go ahead
running out of time
now. Exactly. So we're trying to make that really obvious for folks like, hey, please do this very quickly here. So this is our website. You can see there's a bunch of materials here, how it works, some marketing language. The critical thing here is, are you eligible? So again, I'm just going to do this live here. This is our find out if you're eligible. And I like to call this sort of a pre-screen survey. And what I mean by that is, I mentioned you need to upload some sort of copy of your driver's license or utility bill, your tax return, give us all this information, the names of the schools your kids go to. If you're in SNAP, you're providing that award letter. It's a lot. And we understand it's going to take you a little bit of time to gather those documents, scan them, whatever you need to do. The last thing we want to have happen is for someone to do all of that, find all their items, scan them all, upload them, wait the 2 weeks to hear back and find out you're not eligible. That is not a good experience for anyone. And so we've built this sort of pre-screen survey, which basically just tells at a high level, do we think you're eligible for this program? So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out a few times actually for you. So again, this is a very simple questionnaire. Are you a resident of Kansas? Are your students in school? Are they between these ages? I'm going to say no. I live in Kansas City, Missouri. And so I'm going to say no. Because I said no, this is going to say, hey, you know what? Based on what you've told us, we don't think you're eligible for this program. We're not going to waste your time with the full application because you told us you live in Kansas City, Missouri, or you don't meet the income requirements or anything like that. And we will hang on to this information if and when program guidelines change. We'll reach back out. So now I'll fill this out again. There's sort of if you think about this as a choose your own adventure, there are 3 different ways this can go. So one is, we don't think you're eligible. The second is, yes, I meet these 3 criteria. And then I'm going to say, yes, all of the children I'm applying for are in SNAP or foster care. So same thing. I hit submit, but this time it tells me, hey, we think you qualify because you told us that you have students in school and you are on SNAP. And so here's what you're going to need for the application. And, here's the link to that application. Again, this is I call it the fast track application. So what you would expect out of a government application, right? Name, dates, social or taxpayer ID, are your students in Kansas? And then this is where, somewhere down here, are you receiving SNAP benefits? And then go ahead and upload, that SNAP letter. Upload the SNAP letter to prove that. Within 2 weeks, probably even less at this point, you'll hear back from us, hopefully that you've been accepted. Otherwise, hey, the scan of your driver's license was too blurry. We can't verify it. Or worst case, hey, based on what you've told us, you actually don't qualify. All right, and now I'm going to go back and fill this out the 3rd and final time. And this is, this is where you get to the There's a typo in there, but it doesn't matter since this isn't real anyway. This is where you get to sort of the standard application, right? So you are at or below 300% of the poverty level, but you're not in SNAP. You don't have a foster children. This is kind of the majority of folks will come through this. So no, I'm not in SNAP. But this is where I'm going to say, okay, is a child on your form? Yes. And then again, here's that income level. So I mentioned I have 3 children. So my federal poverty line for a family of 5 is about 35,000. 300% of that is 105,000. It's a little small here, but you get the picture.
Mm-hmm.
As long as my income fits in these guidelines, I'm going to say yes. Same thing takes me to this page. Great, I qualify because of everything I've said. I'll also get an email, by the way. A lot of times, you fill this out, you might not be ready with all the documentation you need right away. So we'll send you a link. It's in your inbox. So when you come back in a day or two when you're ready, you'll have that link as well. And then this is that full program application. This is the one where we are actually checking your income against IRS. So you have to kind of register an account and check out that. There is, I'll click it here. There's a family guide to the application. Mm-hmm. This is literally screenshot by screenshot. I'm going to give everyone a headache. I apologize. Screenshot by screenshot of what the application looks like. Here's the part of the tax form that we need to be able to see. This is where you're going to upload it. If you're married filing separately, here's what that looks like. Step by step of all those things. And I'm able to access this even before I create the account and log into the application. And so people can look at this and see exactly what they're going to need and what it's going to look like once they get in there. Stacey, please feel free to interrupt me at any time if you have any questions, or if on behalf of the team, or if any are coming in the comments. Please.
No. Well, you know what? Let me look at the comments.
I just realized I'm just over here yammering.
No questions yet. No questions coming up yet. Now, you have sent me that family guide, so I was just going to drop that in the chat as well. So if anyone wanted to glance at that. And I should say, all the links that he's talking about, all of the things, I'm either putting them in the chat, and then also I send out the Lunch and Learn links afterward. So it will have all the links to everything that he's referring to sent. I will email it out on the KAAAC listserv. So if you're watching this going, okay, he's talking fast, or this is only going to be a half an hour. 1, I guess you can watch it again. But 2, I will email all this information out.
Excellent. And it's also all available in Spanish. I should show you actually on the on our main page here. The entire website is available in Spanish as well. I don't speak Spanish, so I have to go back to English. But okay, the second thing I want to point out was, actually, let me just jump back to the slides here really quick. So again, very high level, keep.ks.gov, fill out our pre-screen, find out if you're eligible. That links you to the full application, and that's how you apply. Within about 2 weeks, you will hear back from us, hopefully with good news that you're in the program. And by the way, in this presentation that I know Stacey will send out, I have a video in here. I'm not going to show it to you now. I kind of did the fast version, but there's a clickable link here that shows a full video walkthrough of filling out both the SNAP or foster children application as well as the full application. So lots of good resources. So, okay, you have found out that you're eligible. You filled out the application. Within 2 weeks, like I said, you'll hear back that hopefully you're in the program. What happens then? You're going to get 2 emails. The first email on the left here, you don't need to worry about reading it. At a high level, congratulations, you've been accepted into the program. Here's how you access your $1,000 award. Here's the list of the vendors that are approved. Here's some tips on how to file the claims. Just kind of a welcome introductory email to the program. The second, almost more critical email is the one on the right here. And this is the one that comes from Merit. This is our company. So I'm sure everyone, actually, you're looking at this on Facebook Live. So you've seen across the internet when you log into certain platforms, you'll often have the option of logging in with your Facebook account or logging in with your Google account or your Apple ID or whatever it is. Similar, Merit has a login like this. And so we will be issuing you a credential. So as this one says, hey, Jennifer Johnson is a KEEP participant, she will accept that. And that will be her credential, her token to get into the KEEP program. So I'll show you what that looks like. So on the website, if I go to this is now app.keep.ks.gov. This is the actual the app where I would go to submit a claim for reimbursement, and you'll see right here, log in with Merit. So this is where I've been accepted to the program. I've received my access credential, and now I use that to log in. If I click that, if everything works the way it should, I'll be allowed in because I don't have any students in Keep. Perfect. Okay, it's working. Good. That was a tricky thing to test live, I'll be honest. Okay, so that's what that second email is. Okay, so that's where we are.
All kinds of great things happen when you're on live.
That's right. Yeah, I've done this enough times where I was pretty sure it was going to work, but you never know what's going to happen. Okay, I wanted to, before I jump into the marketplace, I just want to show you all the help center real quick. So this is, again, help.ks.gov. This is our help center. When we first launched the program, we probably had 24 articles in here because we figured, well, these are everything that people are going to have questions about. That was back in February, March timeframe. There are now several hundred articles in here because people are always coming in with questions. Like I said, I'm a taxpayer, but I'm not a citizen. I don't have a social security. Right. Oh, okay. Well, now we're going to have a question for that. And so there's all sorts of categories here. It's also, if you have questions, I'll just type in like application and you can see all these things. Application issues. How do I edit my application? How do I appeal? How do I submit? What documents? Everything, hopefully everything that you would need to know. And then of course, if you can't get your question answered, we have email, we have phone. I believe you may be able to, don't quote me, it's recorded, but I believe you can text this number as well for text support.
I'm quoting you. Yeah, you're right. It's recorded. You're going to be quoted.
That's all right. If not, I'll the customer support team will yell at me. That's okay. That's on me. But point being, there's plenty of ways to have your questions answered. Again, if it's not available in the help center, you can go ahead and reach out to these folks, and they're super helpful. We've gotten great feedback on our customer support team. They're really amazing folks. So how do I go back here? By hitting the back button, of course. Let me go back to our main page here. And I want to show you the marketplace. So again, just going through the whole path where you found out about the program, you've decided you're eligible, you filled out the pre-screen, you fill out the actual application, you've gotten your award. Now what? How do I spend this money?
Right.
How do I know it's going to be good? So there's this marketplace is what we're calling it. It's the education marketplace, which is, again, it kind of says what it does right on the box here. So this is a marketplace of service providers that we have gone out and verified as being legitimate businesses. And this is by no means a full list of every business in the state of Kansas. We are adding more every day, every week. We're at several hundred in here now. But this is basically, you can go in and see, yeah, I'm looking for tutoring in Anderson County for my 4th grader. And it will show you all the vendors that we have found.
Okay.
Do this. And you can click on these and there's a little bit more information. It'll have the phone number, email address, a little bit of information about them. I believe if there's a website, we have that here as well. And so that's just a really great resource. And the idea here is that, again, we want really good customer experiences here. We don't want people to be in this program, go spend the money, and then find out, oh, that's not an approved expense because I spent it on someone else. And similarly, we want to make sure that you're being reimbursed. And so part of the vetting these programs is making sure that, this isn't, I'm saying, hey, Stacy tutored my kids, and Stacy's saying, yeah, I sure did, and then we're splitting the money between it, right? So we're making sure everything's above. No offense, Stacy. We're making sure everything's above board. We're checking credentials, things like that.
So what happens if it's a tutoring or if it's some sort of service where I know that it is a legitimate service and I've used this service, but they're not listed on the website? How does that work?
Great question. So we will go ahead and process the claim. We'll reach out to that service provider. We'll typically ask them for some sort of credential on their side.
Okay. So you do verify. Mm-hmm.
We do verify. We hand check everything. Another great thing here is if that business is not in this marketplace, tell us. And we'll go out and we'll call them and we'll try and get this in the marketplace because they certainly have a lot of other clients who are in this program as well. And so fill this out, to the best of your ability, and we'll get in touch with them. We'll call them and try and get them in. The most exciting part about this marketplace is what we call the preferred vendors. So not every vendor has this little badge here. I'm going to read it because I don't want to mess it up, and I think it's really important. So I can check and uncheck this box, but a preferred vendor does not require upfront out-of-pocket payment from the parents and guardians. So payment for claims submitted through the claims app will be made directly to the vendor. So I think that's really,
so it's not a reimbursement situation.
That's right. So for these preferred vendors, these are folks who, I pay Stacy $100 to tutor my kid. Because Stacy is a preferred vendor, I don't actually pay her $100. I submit the invoice or the bill from Stacy to keep paid Stacy directly. So I'm not spending any money out of pocket. We think, especially for the folks in this program, as we mentioned, we're targeting those of the lower income populations. I think that's a really critical support path for the folks in this program because they may not have that money up front.
Right. So
we really encourage as many vendors as possible to go ahead and walk down that path and become a preferred vendor. So we've actually, one of the ways, if I refresh this page, the preferred vendors show up by default. And so that's like another selling point. We're going to the vendors like, hey, if you are preferred, you automatically show up on the page before anyone even searches for you.
Right.
So we encourage everyone to just be part of the marketplace. But of course, if you're able to not accept payment up front, then we'll mark you as preferred.
So now you talked about this because I'm looking at this preferred vendors. So yes, there's tutors, but then you say like staples. So this idea that it can cover tutoring, but it can cover school supplies. So if you need to buy binders and you need to buy pencils and pens, and it even covers electronics, it's my understanding.
That is true. I'm going to find the exact answer here. How can you use the funding? So again, very high level: camps with academic related curriculum and educational materials, including certain allowed technological advices. I'll dig into what that means. Language classes, musical instruments and lessons, including musical instrument rentals, tutoring, and just any academic class in general. We do have a handbook that gets into like the real nitty gritty of what that means. So for example, I'm giving everyone a headache again here. Let me do it on the left, so I only give myself.
You do like to scroll.
I do. There's a lot of information. I told you.
Yeah.
So just looking at camps specifically, I'll make this a little bit bigger. This is sort of like the rules and regulations of the program. So again, sports camp, driving school, those are not academic in nature. That isn't really speaking to the spirit of the program. So those would not be approved. Dance camps, as long as they're not competitive, would be approved. STEM camps, obviously academic related. When we talk about I think it was up above actually.
The devices.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that specifically. Here we go. So one large tech item per student, such as a tablet or a laptop or a computer, school supplies, textbooks and books, things like that. Of course, on the flip side, no gaming devices,
right?
No smartphones, no sporting goods, things like that. But definitely those vendors, as you said, actually, if I go to curriculum and materials, Staples, Lakeshore Learning, ODP, which is Office Depot, Pittsco, there are a handful of vendors here who you'll recognize,
right? Yeah,
whether you're in public or private school or in homeschool as school supply. And I believe that most of these vendors have set up special marketplaces to where things that are available through that marketplace will be approved. So, for example, Staples, I believe you can buy an Xbox at Staples. Even though you can purchase through Staples through Keep, that's not going to be available.
It wouldn't show up, right?
It wouldn't show up, exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Well, you guys have made, as difficult as this process potentially might be, you've made it as easy as you can.
Yeah, and I appreciate you calling that out. I mean, as I said, this is a government program, and so we need to check. As I said, you are who you say you are. You live where you say you live. Your income is what you say your income is. And so in order to do that, yeah, we are collecting a decent amount of information. But once you're in the program, we do want it to be really easy. I should also add, beneficiaries have 12 months to use that award. So today is September 25th. I'm going to apply today. Let's say I find out by October 5th that I'm in the program. I have until October 5th, 2024 to use the funds. I have
so it's not like it has to be all used up this academic school year.
Correct. It is not related
academic school year.
That's right. Not related to the school year, not related to the calendar year, except for that 12-month. This is a one-time award, so there's no reapplying again on January 1st or for the new school year. This is just a one-time award for folks, and it does expire after that 12 months. And I thought of that because you were talking about some of the customer service things we've implemented. We will, of course, be reminding folks, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month out ahead of their award expiring. Hey, you still have funds left. Please use it. Here's the link to the marketplace. Here's some things that you can spend it on. So we really want to not only put the money in folks' hands, but have them use it. That's really, as I said, the spirit of the program is to help people and help students, achieve that academic success.
Wow, this is fantastic. And
you
you are
jump back to the slides. Oh, the last thing I wanted to show. I'm sorry. Do you have a question?
Well, no. I was gonna say because believe it or not, we're at a half an hour.
Oh, okay.
No, but finish the last thing you wanted to say.
Very, very briefly. I just wanted to show you what the actual app looks like. So this is when you log into that app. Very high level. You'll see your students. You'll see your students. You'll see how much money's left. Very easy to file a claim. It's exactly what you'd expect. How much did you spend on which kid? Where did you spend it? What did you spend it for? And then that goes in. It gets reviewed. And then there's also the app. It's called Keep Claims. That's what it looks like. But once again, everything is on keep.kaas.gov. That is the single destination for the latest and greatest information.
This is fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm glad you I'm glad that we had you on to explain that and walk everything through. I was aware of the Keep program and I had posted about it a few times on social media, but not knowing the ins and outs. This is now I wish I would have had you on several months ago when I first became aware of the program, because, we might have been able to get more people in, but hopefully I'll share this out and spread the news around. So people can get enrolled.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for the opportunity. We love this program. We love folks like yours wanting to help out, and happy to come back anytime if you have more questions or a new group of folks. Thank you again.
Definitely. All right. Well, everyone, check out the chat. Every link that he talked about, I put into the chat as well. And so this will also go up on YouTube later on today. And of course, I will be if you're on KAAAC's listserv, you'll get the email with all of this all in one email. Will be sent out later today. But thank you everyone for joining us today. And I should be back with another Lunch and Learn next Monday. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.